Fagus, was a Celtic god of beech trees in the Haute-Garonne region of southwestern France. His cult thrived among the abundant beech forests in the wilderness of the French Pyrenees. The Aquitanian tribes in the Haute-Garonne region paid homage to Fagus as the guardian spirit of beech trees and sacred beech forests. The word Fagus, or Fagus deus, means divine beech tree in Latin. His Romanized name suggested his devotees revered him by another title during the Iron Age. The Greek historian, Diodorus of Sicily, recounted the Pyrenees contain many thick and deep forests. Fagus belonged to a pantheon of tree deities worshipped by the Pyrenean tribes before and after the Roman occupation. Strabo confirmed 20 small native tribes lived alongside the Celts in southwestern Gaul. The Romans referred to these indigenous peoples as the Aquitani. He noted the Aquitani were more like the Iberians in the build of their bodies as well as in their speech. Caesar stated the Garonne River separated the Gauls from the Aquitani. Julius Caesar subdued the tribes in southwestern Gaul during the mid-1st century BC. He used the Pyrenees Mountains as a natural boundary when creating the Roman province of Gallia Aquitania, or Aquitaine Gaul. Gallia Aquitania encompassed the area between the Pyrenees, Garonne River and the Atlantic coast. The Covini, Terrassates and Pitanii were among the Aquitanian tribes who adopted a Roman way of life. The Romans used Interpretio Romana to transform the Gallic deities into the gods and goddesses of the Romano-Celtic religion. The Conveni solicited the goodwill of Fagus on votive altars and inscriptions at Saint-Bertrand-de-Comminges in the Haute-Garonne during the Gallo-Roman era. The Romans founded the town of Lugdunum Combinarum, or Saint-Bertrand-de-Comminges, in the late 1st century BC. A devotee called Pompeia invoked the divine power of Fagus on a votive altar.
To the god Fagus, Pompeia, daughter of Caius, with a righteous recognition in fulfillment of a vow.
Urdenius declared his devotion to Fagus with the words,
"The god of beech trees, Urdenius, son of Urdesis, fulfilled his vow willingly and according to the law."
Bonxus invoked the divine protection of Fagus on a votive inscription.
Bonxus, son of Taurinus, fulfilled his vow gladly and rightly to the god of beech trees.
Iastus solicited the goodwill of Fagus on an inscription.
Iastus fulfilled his vow gladly and rightly to Fagus.
Scholars believe Fagus was worshipped at a hilltop sanctuary in Cum de Laius in the Hautes-Pyrenees. The inhabitants of Saint-Bertrand and the surrounding areas journeyed to the rural shrine to pay homage to the tree deity, Fagus. Devotees honored Fagus as the divine guardian of beech trees rather than the genii loci of a place. The prevalence of the cult of Fagus in the Central Pyrenees suggested his followers relied on beech trees as a source of wealth. Experts discovered tree species such as beech and birch expanded their range in the Pyrenees during the Gallo-Roman era. European beech, Fagus sylvatica, are tall, elegant trees belonging to the oak family. They are remarkable trees because of their resilience and ability to adapt to most environments. Mature beech are fairly long-lived trees as they live for between 250 and 400 years. The nuts, or mast, of beech trees are eaten by birds and animals in the autumn. Squirrels and jays are among the woodland creatures that disperse the seeds over a wide area. Beech often dominates woodlands because their dense canopy limits the availability of sunlight. Saplings grow well in the shade and reach over 130 feet, or 40 meters, when mature. The Pyrenean tribes marveled at the ability of beech to regrow from stumps. Beech also recovers well from fire, drought, and cattle grazing. Strabo remarked,
"The soil of the interior and mountainous parts of Aquitaine is superior. For instance, in the district near the Pyrenees belonging to the Conveni.
The rich, fertile earth of the Central Pyrenees allowed beech trees to flourish as forests or among Scots pine, silver fir, and oaks. The Forêt de Menil du Castres and the Nouvielle Reserve in the Haute-Garonne are among the beech forests that thrive on the slopes of the Central Pyrenees. Beech remains the most common tree species at lower altitudes. The tribes in the French Pyrenees prospered by harvesting timber in woodlands. Beech was valued for its strength, durability, and flexibility. Artisans preferred the superior quality of the wood to construct houses and outbuildings. Carpenters fashioned beechwood into furniture, kitchen utensils, tool handles, barrels, and musical instruments in their workshops. Rural folk used the branches as firewood. The forked twigs of beech were made into divining rods. Farmers allowed their herds of pigs to feed on beech mast in woodlands during the autumn. The edible leaves were a source of fodder. The astringent properties of the leaves and bark cured minor ailments such as cuts, boils, skin conditions, and fevers. Pliny recounted the Gauls made a soap from beech which dyed their hair red.
Soap is an invention of the Gauls for giving a reddish tint to the hair. This substance is prepared from tallow and ashes, the best ashes for the purpose being those of the beech and yoke elm.
The Romans used vast quantities of wood to build the towns, fortifications, and infrastructure of Gaul. The Romans also founded spa towns near the thermal mineral springs in the Pyrenees. Bagnères de Bigorre in the Hautes-Pyrenees was known as Vicus Aquensis, meaning city of waters, in Gallo-Roman times. The tribes relied on timber during the extraction of ore from the gold and silver mines of Gallia Aquitania. The marble quarries of the Conveni were celebrated during the Gallo-Roman era. They used wooden carts and containers to transport the marble to their capital at Saint-Bertrand. The Pyrenean tribes revered a myriad of tree gods before and after the Roman occupation. The Covini were followers of a local Gallic god called Sex Arbors, meaning the god of 6 trees. They honored Sexabores, or deus Sexabores, on altars and inscriptions in the Haute-Garonne region of the Central Pyrenees. 3 votive inscriptions solicited the goodwill of Sexabores at Arbas and Castelbaig in the Haute-Garonne. The settlements were near Saint-Bertrand-de-Comminges. Sadly, the inscriptions did not provide a meaningful interpretation of the Gallic god, Sexabores. Scholars believe Sexabores may have been the living deity of a sacred grove with 6 trees. Sexabores was perhaps a divine tree surrounded by 6 trees in a woodland clearing. The Covini were among the Pyrenean tribes to pay homage to Abellio as a local god of the Garonne Valley. Abello means apple tree in Gaulish, which suggested he was a god of apple trees and orchards. The tribes may have esteemed Abellio as a solar deity. Votive inscriptions were dedicated to Abellio at Billière, Bergalaise, Bucou, Fagus, Cardielhac, Aulon, and Montauban de Luchan. Devotees may have paid homage to Abellio at a sanctuary high in the hills of Saint-Aventin in the Larbust Valley. The profusion of dedications honoring Abellio implied he was the divine protector, or genii loci, of the Garonne region. The Gaulish god, Arexio, was an obscure deity of oak trees at Ludenville in the Luron Valley of the Haute-Pyrenees. 2 altars and inscriptions paid tribute to Arexio Deo at Montserrat de Peyra in Ludenville during the Gallo-Roman era. Artahi, or Arte, was a local god of oak trees in the Haute-Garonne region of the Central Pyrenees. His name means evergreen oak in Basque. 5 votive inscriptions confirmed his cult flourished at Saint-Pé-d'Ardet. The goodwill of Artahi was invoked on 2 dedications at or in Barbazan and Lourdes. The archaeological evidence confirmed Fagus belonged to a pantheon of tree deities in the French Pyrenees during the Gallo-Roman era. Tree cults were widespread among the tribes because of the economic importance of individual tree species. The personification of Fagus as a divine beech tree affirmed the value of beech among the Aquitanian tribes. Their reliance on beech for their prosperity evolved into a spiritual bond with the trees and forests that flourished in the rugged terrain of the Pyrenees. The deities of the Celtic religion are discussed in our WordPress blog, Legends of Love in Celtic Mythology. Green Man, the gods of sacred trees on Amazon, explores the woodland gods and goddesses worshipped by the tribes in Britain, Ireland, and Europe.